We're back. We're back. It's another episode of your favorite political podcast, Where the Party At. I'm your host, Saba Long.
And I am Eldridge Washington, and this is Where the Party is At. I want to say this. I know it sounds like unrealistic that we be matching like this.
I mean,
but I'm going to let y'all know, like, we ain't on no lame,
I'm going to wear this. Can you wear that?
Let's add surprise.
It was bizarre. I walked in and I was like, wait, what are you wearing?
So, hey, I mean, you look great.
Thank you.
You look great.
Got the green, got the tan, got the little orange.
And what's so funny, I wasn't going to wear the orange. I actually had a different color. And a friend, I was FaceTime, they were like, you got orange?
You need a little pop of color or something?
Because obviously they fam you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't think about that one.
So that's how the orange even
got it
popped up for this.
Yeah, that was funny.
So I just want to let y'all know, we twin, but...
And why are you so dressed up today, by the way?
So I'm flying out of town tomorrow, and I'm doing laundry. So, I feel like, especially on this podcast, if y'all pay attention to me, my chest is like real estate. I'm typically trying to wear some type of T-shirt, right. Something that's just saying something. And all of them are washing right now. So this is the best option. Now, when it get cold outside, the hoodies are back. Oh. I got hoodies for days. What? I'm sorry.
Nope. All right. I'm just going to let you have that.
But what's up, people? You know, shout out to all of our listeners. I do just want to give a shout out to the comment section.
Is it commenting?
Yeah, they active and
a little spicy.
So again, if you've been paying attention, we are covering the controversial topic around data centers, specifically.
Which we'll talk about today on the show too.
Yeah, specifically the RDA location. And we had Dr. David Holder on, and we told him, I know, yeah. I said, hey, they coming in the comment section. I like, so just be ready to respond. In his defense,
yeah,
he's been
in there?
Yeah, he's been responding. So I didn't let you know the people are going in the comment section. Thank y'all for the engagement and paying attention, and I love it. So
yeah, I can't wait to catch up.
So let's get in, man. What we got today?
We got money. So, as you know, campaign season, campaign disclosure report was just filed. So at the end of July was the current financial disclosure period. Mm-hmm. And so all the reports, they had like a 7 or 8 day grace period. And so we just got all the final numbers in. And this is really interesting. If we can show on the screen, I think let's first start with the governor's race, because that's the one that I think so many folks are paying attention to. So who's got the money, right? Obviously, Keisha Lance Bottoms is running against Rick Jackson, who is a billionaire. And the numbers show that right now it's to his advantage. But let's really break down what this really means. Okay, so you see this on the screen. What's really happening? So first, let's talk about this No Limits Committee. Mm-hmm. If you follow the show, we talked about these leadership committees that were put into effect, I believe it was 2021. So this is a special fund that can take a check of any size. So if I right now today wanted to cut a $500 million check to either Keisha or Rick's leadership committees, I could do that.
You could do it.
If I wanted to just give them $5, I could do that. Now, if I wanted to give $500 million to their campaign, I cannot do that.
There's a limit to that. It's
correct.
$8,400. $8,400, yeah.
And that $8,400 is per $8,400 for the primary, and then $8,400 for the general.
Gotcha.
And then for the primary runoff, there's also an additional amount of money. So those are the two things we're going to look at today. We're going to look at the leadership committee, and then we're going to look at the campaign fund. So first, I guess let's talk about Keisha. So her leadership committee has raised about $3.4 million.
In a regular race, this is a far from regular race.
This is a far from regular race, and a regular race doesn't have a leadership committee.
Well, and when I say a regular race, I mean like if you're not going against a billionaire. Is that an impressive number, or is that
It is not impressive,
Okay.
only because Stacey Abrams at this point had raised more than Keisha.
that was Stacey, she
But
had
she had raised more money than Brian Kemp did.
Stacey had a
Right. And that was one of the things that her campaign strategy is, we have to raise more because we're going to have to spend more.
right.
Keisha can't raise more. If someone is willing to put, as you see in here, he's put more than $100 million of his own money into the race so far. So
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to outraise him, right? You're not going to be able to outspend him. Okay, so again, breaking down Keisha's numbers, her campaign committee raised about $3.4 million. And then Rick Jackson's campaign committee raised about $11.9 million. So where is that money coming from? So on the campaign committee side, on this leadership committee, Rick Jackson, $10 million of that came from the Republican Governors Association. So the overwhelming majority of that came from RGA.
Right.
Keisha had about $2 million from the Democratic Governors Association. They have they've earmarked money specifically for Georgia. And just to give you some background for folks who might not be familiar, so you have the two parties have kind of these committees around key positions. Governor and Attorney General are probably the two most common.
Right.
Right. So there's a Democratic Governors Association, there's a Republican Governors Association, and the same thing for Attorneys General. There's a Republican Attorneys General Association and a Democratic Attorneys General Association. So, and their whole point, obviously, is to elect as many people from their party to those positions as possible. And there are governor's races happening across the country that people are paying attention to. Obviously, one of them being right here in Georgia. All right. So again, what I have found interesting about these numbers is just how much more Republicans are raising or giving to Rick Jackson, at least on the Republican Governors Association side, compared to Keisha. And maybe maybe over time they'll continue to give more. So maybe
we ain't got that much.
I don't know. I mean, now's the time to spend the money, I would think. I'm not sure what their plan is, and I don't know how much more RGA has in the bank compared to the Democratic governors.
So, the Democratic Governors
Association. Mm-hmm.
Is that who runs that?
So there are a number of entities, right? There's the Democratic Governors Association. There's a Democratic Senate Committee, the DSCC. There's the Democratic Congressional Committee, DCCC.
Right.
So they're all connected to the Democratic Party at large.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you usually have like a chair.
That
I don't know
runs
who
it.
the current chair is, but there's a chair who's obviously a Democratic governor or a Republican governor. Kemp, I want to say Kemp was previously chair of RGA at one point, or at least certainly I know Kemp aligned people were very much involved in RGA.
That's how I just want to know who is over, like who's the person responsible for making sure we raise that money.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
For some reason, Andy Beshear is in my head, the governor of Kentucky, who's in charge of DGA right now. But I fact check me, but in my head, I have Andy Beshear as who that might be for today.
Got you. All right, so Keisha is not raising money on.
Well, Keisha's raising money. She's not raising money at the same
That's
clip
what I meant.
as
At the same rate. She's not,
as Rick Jackson.
which we knew that.
Right.
This is a
Which
true.
is no surprise.
This is a true David and Goliath story.
It is.
Financially.
Correct.
Like, this is a true. She's going up against a giant. Honestly, even when I looked at the cash still in the bank, like
Yeah, it's not that far off.
I thought it was gonna be wider
I did
than
too.
that.
I did too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. 10 million is a big
11
difference.
million. Yeah. $10 million. Yeah,
10
that
million
is a big difference. Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be
Right.
more than that.
Right.
So
Another thing that I found interesting. So we had talked about the $87 million that Rick Jackson said that he was going to spend on ads.
yeah.
I think that is if I read these disclosures correctly, that's what he has pledged to spend. He hasn't necessarily cut a check for 87 million. Right. So he has done some buys,
capping.
but he has, I think to some extent, I mean, and Trump did this as well, right? If you remember when Trump first ran in 2016, he fronted basically the entire primary, right? He's like, I'm going to spend whatever I have to spend to get out of this primary. And then after that, he pulled back on his personal spending and relied on donations. And so I think what I suspect here is that that's what Rick is trying to do. So if you look again at the campaign fund section, you'll see that that's at $6 million, but $5 million of that was moved from his, what I call the no limit committee, right? That was from the leadership committee. So that's not that's not like Georgia donor money.
Right.
Right. That's not Eldridge donating, $100. So if you look
Which
at,
I have not done that.
so if you look at who in this cycle, so what are the takeaways from this, right? One of the takeaways is in this cycle that we just had, Keisha outraised Rick Jackson on the campaign fund from actual donors.
I can see that.
Right?
That makes sense based off of that's what she has right now.
Yeah. And she has to win this by grassroots.
Yeah, that is like she has the popularity of people knowing her name and people are excited about her campaign. So I can see why she won on that level.
Yeah.
And she just need more. She got to keep
needs a whole lot more.
And it just I seen I've caught some of her ads. Her ads are starting to hit me now. Little online social media ad.
Yeah.
Just give $2, give $3. I was like, man, ain't nobody about to go in here and give $2, man. Come on.
My dad somehow got on her email list.
Right.
And so anytime I'm in his inbox, which is more often than I want to be, but I have to be, I'll see a Keisha, I think the last one was about education.
Yeah. So I'm seeing her ads come through now. So she's definitely targeting people, but got to do a lot more. We got a lot of money to raise.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about where the money came from and a little bit about spending. So on Keisha's side, one of the big donations, and again, this is all relative because we're saying $100,000 is big, but we also know that she's going up against a candidate who has put up $100+ million.
Exactly.
And even outside of him, I think his biggest donation from a Georgia company was around $10 million. So it's relative, right? So big donations on Keisha's behalf. $100,000 from Sycamore, which is a real estate or business related company in Atlanta. Prominent black lawyer, $25,000. She got money from a group of trial lawyers, and then from some Democratic PACs, political action committees, like Emily's List. She got $25,000 for them. Emily's List focuses on electing women in leadership. Save Democracy PAC, an education reform PAC. So that's a little bit of where her money came from. And then where she spent it. Overwhelmingly, 85% of it was spent on paid media, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
She paid about $80,000 in polling to a black firm, by the way.
Shout out.
And then I saw about $100,000 in field. And then there's salaries, and so what you'll often see is the leadership committee, and you'll see this with Rick Jackson as well, is because of the leadership committee, they're able to structure these campaigns to be a little bit more opaque than before, right? So it's a little bit harder to tell who is on the payroll and who's actually getting checks,
right?
Because a lot of it might be, it's contracted to Just Eldridge Media, but you don't actually know who all is working under the Just Eldridge Media umbrella. And both campaigns do that, so it's not a knock. It's just the fact, it's just what it is. Yeah.
I have gotten paid from a campaign before, but through working with somebody else.
Right, you weren't on the campaign disclosure.
Which I appreciate it. But
right. Yeah, I get it. It is quite the norm.
if I'm on a disclosure, I need that number to make sense.
So if you see an ad or if you get a mailer and it says paid for by Project Battleground Georgia, that is Keisha's leadership committee.
Oh, okay.
If you get an ad or see something that is paid by, what is the name of his? Ford Georgia? I think the name of Rick Jackson's is like Ford Georgia, FOR Georgia. And that's his leadership committee. So it may not always say paid for by Keisha Lance Bottoms or paid for by Rick Jackson. That just means it's their committees. Okay, on the Rick Jackson side, so I mentioned Republican Governors Association, biggest check for this cycle, $10 million. And then a lot of corporate checks. Somebody dropped $250,000, $100,000. Some railroad folks, $100,000. The head of Cox Enterprises, $100,000. Some general contractors, $100,000. There's quite a few $100,000 corporate checks or checks by very wealthy folks. A lot of dough.
Can you imagine giving all this and not winning?
Well, I mean, he wouldn't be the first. Tom Steyer put up about $130 million for the governor's race in California on this cycle.
I remember.
And lost.
I remember.
And that's after he put up how much to run for president? How many years ago was that? 4 years ago?
Hey, man, it ain't tricking if you got it.
I mean, gosh, what's his name in New York? Bloomberg. Bloomberg spent $1 billion to run for president. It's all relative. Remember, we're talking about Rick Jackson spending $100 million is like you and I spending $2.
Right. It ain't.
I mean, not literally, but not that far off.
It ain't. It's a drop.
Right.
It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. He'll be okay. His grandkids will be okay. No one's starving, right? No one's on ramen. What has Rick Jackson spent his money on? No surprise. TV has been the biggest amount. To be his media buyer. Lot of dough. And then
call that the whale.
Right.
The whale client.
The whale client. Yeah, a lot on phone banking. If I calculated this correctly, he spent almost $1 million on phone banking, which, if that is true, that is an insane amount of money.
And he targeting well because I ain't got one call.
Right.
Right.
Well, not yet. You're probably in like the third tier.
Of
black
his cause.
Black men. Yeah, you're probably in the third tier. So we'll see. This is the first big one, right? This is the first big one, so we'll see kind of what happens over the next cycle. But if I'm Keisha, how am I feeling in this moment? This is like what you said. This is kind of to be expected.
Yeah.
Now, where I would, if I were her, and I don't know what the plan is, and maybe more is coming, I would be putting more pressure on these national Democratic groups to put more money in this race, right? Yeah. If RGA can put up 10 million, DGA has to figure out a way to match that.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where I think that hold people accountable, and that is your now. I've said last week that, I don't want to hear that he's a billionaire no more. But when I'm fundraising, I do want to hear that. Mm-hmm. Like when you're like, yo, I'm going up against an unlimited amount of money. Help me. So I agree. Putting pressure on all of the national groups,
right.
Pulling all the tricks. This is their opportunity to pull all the tricks. Who are the popular names
Yeah.
That I
And
could,
they're going to come down, right? I mean, I think you'll see the Pete Buttigieg, you'll see Wes Moore, and they've already started to come down. I think Senator Alsobrook was down here recently. You'll see a lot of the national. I gotta imagine Cory Booker will be down here. Anyone who's considering running for president in 2028
they're coming.
will be here for starters. Then you'll have
Who's
just
the biggest name to help you raise money?
Barack Obama.
I mean, I wasn't even gonna put him.
Well,
in
I
it.
mean, you
Like,
said the biggest name.
yeah, like he ain't coming.
Other than,
Barack Obama, like he ain't coming.
I don't know. I mean, someone who I would have to go back and look because I wasn't looking for this name, but someone who can easily write $1 million check, easily write a $2 million check to the leadership committee is Tyler Perry.
Oh yeah, and then I thought they were friends.
They are friends. That's what I'm like, okay, friend, where have you been?
Where was Tyler
Like,
during?
come on.
Where was Tyler? What did Tyler do for Stacey?
I'm not sure. I'm sure he did something, but I don't
Yeah.
recall.
And that's the other thing too. In moments like this, you got to get creative, especially if you're a Keisha Lance Bottom, who is the mayor of Atlanta,
Yeah.
who has rubbed shoulders with all of these
Right.
creatives, celebrities, athletes.
Right.
At this time, you gotta get creative and pull on everybody's shoulder. Like,
Right. And it's not just, it's twofold. One, it's I need you to help me raise money.
that's the most important,
And
more than
then
anything.
Two, I need you to help me get out the vote. Like I need you to actually, do rallies, like talk to your followers. When you have someone like Rick Jackson who's going into every black restaurant in Metro Atlanta, right? You need these types of celebrities to counter and say, okay, like here's the real deal.
Right.
And say, here's why it's important for you. I understand what you saw there, but here's why it's important for you to go to the ballot box and actually check that name.
And I say, I agree. I just say the money I'm pushing for even more because sometimes the celebrity play get lost in the sauce.
Oh, for sure.
It get lost in the sauce. It's almost the Kamala Harris and the Meg Thee Stallion play. Like,
Yep.
I'd rather, Meg, how much money can you get us
Yeah.
to this campaign? Like,
Yeah. And I looked at the disclosures, and there were definitely, I can think of like 10 names that I saw. And I was, and not to be counting people's pockets, but I slightly was when I was looking at this. And I was like, oh, I know you could have maxed out. Why haven't you maxed out? Right? So if I'm thinking this.
hey, you the person that I hate that's at the table when you walk in.
That's great.
Oh my good. Let me tell y'all.
Because I know what
it
it costs to run a campaign. It's
in
expensive.
Atlanta, one of the most
Annoying.
pressuring moments
Yeah.
is when you visit somebody's fundraiser and you're at the door and then they got the little levels. You know what I'm saying? They got the best friend give
Silly.
$5,000.
It's usually like bronze, silver, gold, something.
They be
Yeah.
like the barely doing anything,
Right,
250.
right.
like they be trying to shame you when you be like
Yeah.
hitting that little.
I'm like, don't come in here with a $1,500 purse on, writing a check for $200.
That's why I always come in
Run
with
that
camera.
back.
I always come in with cameras. I'm like, this is my contribution to your campaign. 'Cause, that junk is so funny when you be hitting the last little one like 250, and then they just be looking
Right.
at you like,
Sorry. No, every donation counts.
it does.
It does.
And it also,
my point is-
it depends on the campaign you go into too.
Sure.
Like, cause you go into some,
Yeah.
and we're gonna talk about it. You go to some of these campaigns,
Yeah.
they're gonna take.
They're going to take
whatever.
anything. $5? We got
Thank you
please.
so much.
Yes. $5 is important, to be clear. I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just saying some of y'all were a little stingy on that Keisha Lance Bottoms disclosure, at least from what I saw. Okay. And I don't think Rick Jackson's folks were as stingy. But anyway,
You know,
the campaign did not ask me to say that, I promise. Okay, can we talk about these down ballot races? Like, a lot of interesting thing on the governor side for sure. But the down ballot races,
Please get to it.
okay, you see what I wrote. Dems are broke as a joke.
Yeah, the gyms
Baroka.
ain't got no money, bro.
What is happening? This is crazy. Okay,
Charlie.
I'm just gonna go down, and all these down ballot races. You don't feel the need to try to remember this, but I'm just gonna run through. All right, so lieutenant governor, you got Josh McLaurin on the Democratic side. He raised this cycle. I'm gonna do very round numbers to make it easy for folks.
Yeah.
So I'll say he raised about 68,000 on this cycle, and he has about 35,000 in the bank.
Okay.
His opponent, Greg Dolezal, the Republican running for lieutenant governor, raised almost $300,000 this cycle and has almost $400,000 in the bank.
Like, how that work?
That's one of the races. All right, Attorney General, Tanya Miller, she raised about $450,000 this cycle. That's a big deal.
Okay. I see you saying.
And has about $320,000 in the bank. Her opponent, Brian Strickland, raised about $324,000 and has about $450,000 in the bank.
Tight race.
Tight race.
Tight race.
Secretary of State. This one I was really intrigued by.
But when I seen it,
Yeah.
I was proud.
I was like, oh.
One, I was proud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it justifies what I feel about this race.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So Secretary of State, Republican Tim Fleming, raised about $34,000, and he has about $20,000 in the bank. Judge Penny Brown Reynolds raised about $133,000, and she has about $68,000 in the bank.
Let me tell you, Tim either
It was sleep.
piss somebody off.
Yeah. Just went on summer vacation with his kids or something.
This position is too important to the Republican agenda
It is.
for them to have
Right.
that little amount of support
Right.
financially.
Right.
Like they have used this. If all of these races are chess pieces on the board,
Correct.
they have used this like the knight.
Uh-huh.
They have flip-flopped
Yep.
all over the board with
Right.
this position. And for him to only have that much,
Yeah, I was shocked.
I'm like, yo, y'all sleeping at the wheel, but it justifies what I felt about this race. I do feel like this is Judge Penny Brown race to win. Mm-hmm. Like based off the interview we did with her,
Right.
based off of what I'm seeing her do online, she's pushing.
She's putting in the work.
She's pushing. She's putting in work. So it was cool to see that.
Okay, this next one. I mean,
Don't steal my party pooper. No, just play.
All right, the next one is insurance commissioner. The Democratic candidate is Keisha Waits, who has raised a whopping $0 and has $0 in the bank.
Man, she just filled that paperwork off wrong.
She's running against the incumbent, John King, who raised about $71,000 and has about $550,000 in the bank. All right, next up is Labor Commissioner. Democratic candidate Nikki Porcher raised about $4,500, and she has about $15,000 in the bank. Mm-hmm. And she's going up against another incumbent here, Barbara Rivera Holmes, who raised about $11,000 and has about $175,000 in the bank. Going over to Ag Commissioner, Catherine Juhan Arnold is the Democratic nominee. She raised, these numbers are just awful. She raised about $3,000 and has $557 in the bank. And she's going up against an incumbent as well, Tyler Harper, who raised about $225,000 and has about $540,000 in the bank. School Superintendent, we're almost done. Richard Woods, the incumbent Republican, raised $4,800, and he has about $30,000 in the bank. Then you got Lydia Powell, who's a Democratic nominee, who raised $4,300 and has about $5,000 in the bank. So that race is a little bit more comparable. And then we go into Public Service Commission. Got Peter Hubbard, who was the Democratic incumbent, who beat Fitz Johnson last time and is now going up against him again. So Peter Hubbard raised $100,000 and has $82,000 in the bank. And Fitz raised $60,000 and has $86,000 in the bank. And then finally, Public Service Commission District 5, Sheila Edwards raised almost $8,000 and has almost $13,000 cash on hand against Josh Tolbert, the Republican nominee, who raised $2,000 and has $25,000 in the bank. So, if that was way too many numbers for you, the gist is the Democratic candidates are being outraised, with the exception of some tightness in the Attorney General's race, and in the Secretary of State's race. So that's where there's some real competitiveness. I'm surprised that McLaurin hasn't raised more than Dole. At least I would have thought that he would have gotten to 100. Although Nabila outraised him in the primary, I still would have thought that he would have
raised more.
If I'm Charlie, I would be having a conversation with Keisha Waits to be like, hey, what are you doing? Why haven't you raised any money? Are you doing call time? Do you need someone to help you do call time?
Not just with Keisha, but with...
I'm saying particularly Keisha, because she has raised $0, which means you didn't ask anyone. You could have asked the woman at Publix Drive, somewhere. Like, you're not asking
I'm saying that's a clerical error. It ain't no way.
Yeah. Maybe she just didn't file her report.
Exactly. It ain't no way there's $0.
Let's hope so.
Ain't no way.
But $0 in the bank?
Hey, you know how you set that new account up? You know what I'm saying?
But you don't normally put money in the new account when you set up a new account. You normally transfer some funds.
That's what I'm saying. To even open up the account, she had to at least put $150 in, Saba. We know that.
Okay.
So something is wrong with that.
Lord
I'm not
Jesus.
accepting that.
Okay.
Let's
not accept it.
Because at least there's $150 that had to go in there to open up the account.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
So let's change that.
I mean, she's had the account.
Keisha has raised $150 and she got $0 in the bank. That's what we're going to say. I'm not saying the woman raised no money.
All I'm saying is the Dems are broke as a joke.
Nah, for real. All right. I say his name every week.
Call him up.
Bailey. You can't be the new person. You can't be the new guy. This is your chance. This is your chance to prove that you are the man. This is your team. You're the coach, essentially. Can we say that?
Yeah.
You're the coach. And these are your players. And we got people on here. Come on.
$3,000.
$3,000?
$7,000.
And we're talking
about
about
a race, and especially for a public service commission.
Important races.
That's like that. That's one that you could actually flip, and you would flip the PSC for an extended period of time.
At least go through and give all your players $100. You do it. You just, hey, look, this is me.
Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe what he's doing is saying, okay, we're not giving these campaigns cash. We are going to give them DPG infrastructure, right? Because we've talked about, you've got these
Kendrick
offices
Lamar.
opening up across the state.
Kendrick Lamar. It's not enough. It's not enough.
It's stupid.
Bruh, I don't want to hear none of that.
There are things that could be happening behind the scenes, Eldridge.
All I'm just saying, the Democratic Party, you should look at this and feel shame. When I look at these numbers, you know what I see? I look at these numbers, I see lack of infrastructure.
Yes.
I see lack of excitement from
Yes.
constituents.
Yes.
I see lack of complete energy from these campaigns. Like, honestly, I see folk about to get beat up at the poll when I see these numbers. And if you're dependent on the big ticket at the top,
Yes, I think there's a lot of that.
Kendrick Lamar, it's not enough. Like, I'm sorry, you can't literally pull Ossoff if he's the tide that's gonna raise all these ships.
Right.
That's a big tide. That's a big tide. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. At some point,
it's possible. And this isn't the first time. Also, this isn't the first time that the down ballot candidates were broke.
Yeah, I'm just saying. This first time I'm paying attention. This broke.
Wow.
You done seen somebody raise $150 before?
Yeah, I've seen it this broke before. Yes. It was like this in 2018.
Change that and show up. Don't put $0 on.
I'm putting. So, by the way, if you want to go look up these numbers for these races or others, other statewide races, you can go to ethics.
Let me go on Keisha's site and donate to her.
.ga.gov. So you can go there and you'll see an option to look for a candidate's campaign disclosure. So you can see how much money they raised, where the money was spent, who donated to them. All of that's publicly available. Okay. Ready to roll? No, we're not doing this right now.
Huh?
What you doing?
No, keep going. We listening. I gotta go donate to her campaign.
Oh my God.
I gotta give this woman something.
Somebody help me.
That being said, hey, look, I do want to say this to the people. If you care,
show us your resources.
You have to give.
Yeah.
You have to give because, again, campaigns are ran off the money.
Fact.
Like, they cannot, why the politicians not showing up in the neighborhood? Bro, at this point, they don't got no gas.
Right. Yeah.
At this point, they don't even got the gas to make it. So if you want your elected officials or candidates to show up in your neighborhoods, come talk to you.
Right.
Like,
have staff.
Yeah. Social media posts, video, like
all of that requires time and energy and money.
Y'all, at some point, you have to fund your liberation. We always talk about we finance our oppression because we support these businesses and people that don't care about us.
Right. When I get a package from Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to fund your liberation. And no, am I saying voting is the end all be all? And nah, but it does help if you got somebody that's somewhat aligned with your interests in that seat. Yeah. So we're not just going to act like it doesn't matter at all.
Right.
So at this point,
because it matters to some people, clearly.
Yeah. At this point, if you are a Democrat or someone that is voting against Republicans, you got to look at this and be like, am I doing my part? Now, I take back what I just said. $2. Can we please get $2? I take back what I just said. Somebody, anybody.
We're gonna put you on the on the fundraising committee.
Hey, I'm sorry.
We're gonna have you do call time.
I gotta check myself because I personally haven't done. I gotta go back and do something. I gotta check myself.
I mean, and just to give you context for like how much does this stuff cost, right? So a yard sign, I mean, that's probably 10, 15, depends on how big of a buy they did.
Are you going to get a bug on it?
Right.
Because then it goes up.
Yeah, that's true. Union bug,
if you're getting a union bug, it goes up. That's on your flyers, on your...
That's right, yeah. And then there's the cost of actually getting the yard sign put out. You got a sign guy, you got to pay your sign guy.
You want me to give you some prices on what it costs on media?
Oh, yeah. Oh, why? Yes. I know. Yeah.
If you're dealing with a rookie production team,
right?
Your commercial, you're a rookie team, $5,000.
Right.
You starting out
and that's just for shooting it. That's not the cost of
editing it,
or if you're even
casting.
casting it, right? And that's not the cost of actually placing and purchasing an ad buy.
I wouldn't even, we ain't even talking about it. For now, y'all just need to do paid ads. Y'all just put y'all stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Like I wouldn't put this on TV. I'm just saying.
Well, no. But I'm saying, but even digital, right? Like if you're just doing Instagram ads, like
Yeah,
that still costs money.
So yeah,
Real money.
it takes money for people to get their message out here. So all I'm
Right.
saying is, if don't be one of them people complaining in November
And you didn't do your part.
and you didn't do your part at all. But also candidates, start saying something. Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing too. Candidates don't like to raise money.
No.
It's a hard thing for
It's
them.
very uncomfortable.
It's bro.
Because literally, if you're doing it right, if your campaign is focused, you are spending the majority of your time
Call
raising
time.
money.
That call time.
You're just literally on the phone. Hey, great to see you. Can I get $500?
Can I get some money?
Oh, 500 is too much. Okay, can we do 300? Okay, great. We have a fundraiser this day. I'd love to see you there. Click. Next call.
Yeah.
And that's literally all you're doing.
Now, another thing Charlotte can do is start doing some candidate training.
Yeah.
Like start offering.
well, first of all, we are in the month of August. These folks have been candidates since at least March.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
you don't know by now the basics of fundraising, then you have no business being on the ballot. Let's be clear.
So
Now, what Charlie can be doing is having some coordinated fundraising, right? And so you can figure out what makes sense. You're like, all right, Mondays we're gonna do fundraising for the LG candidate. Tuesday we're gonna do fundraising for the insurance candidate, and just there are lots of ways to skin this cat, so to speak.
yeah, but all right, then get your weight up.
I'm a Republican. I'm real happy right now.
Yeah, if I'm laughing
Yeah.
to the bank.
Right. And the crazy thing is, and the last thing on this is happening at the National Democratic Party too, right? There's a lot of concerns in the National Democratic Party about how much money they have and what they're doing. But anyway, all right, enough of campaign finance. Let's talk about something happening right here at home.
Yes.
Our favorite topic of late, data centers.
Is it data or data?
I say data.
I say data. I'm trying to figure out why.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so last week, a group of council members introduced a resolution. And if we can show this on the screen. So this resolution is by council members Kelsey Bond, and it was signed on by quite a few. When it pops up on the screen, you'll see their signatures. But this is to create a data center task force. And what I found interesting about this was, kind of who was on the who signed their name for the to be added to the legislation. So you got Jason Dozier, you got Jason Winston, you got Ishay Collins. These are all folks. Maybe Winston wasn't, but certainly Dozier and Ishay were part of this conversation around the 713 RDA data center, the one that it's a $500 million data center that Digital Realty is wanting to build on Ralph David Abernathy. So this resolution calls again for a data center task force, which would hold at least 6 public meetings and 2 public hearings about creating some guardrails with respect to data centers and how data centers are used across the city.
So 2 public
hearings and at least 6 meetings about it.
So really it's just a situation to figure out the dangers of data centers, or like what are
so in the legislation, there are a few things that they had spelled out. So they want to understand best practices around development, around regulation, There's a few things that they want to understand. Their electric grid capacity, which we talked about. Like, are there certain types of data centers that we want to make sure we have in the city and others that we absolutely don't want to have? Remember the RDA conversation? There was a lot around this closed loop system. And is that the right thing, or should we have something else? Right. So they're trying to understand, okay, now that we've done a moratorium on, or we've done no data centers within a certain vicinity of a MARTA rail station, now let's look at how do we want data centers in the city to be placed, right? What are the guardrails? Because a lot of already? No, they just introduced, it was just read into, actually this week coming is the first read of the legislation.
Okay.
But Kelsey introduced it last week in full council.
Gotcha.
So when you introduce legislation, it has to go through the routing of the committees. And so that starts this week. And then also this week, we should find out what happens with the RDA data center. I've heard from a couple of folks that they might hold it. So it technically should be up for a vote again this week in city utilities, or in zoning rather. But I think they're going to end up holding it.
It's one of those situations where the nationally they've done a good enough job of polarizing data centers, whatever you say it, where anybody that's in public office not really trying to vote for it or be with it. You know what I'm saying? Whether you have that data of the harm here in Atlanta specifically, I think it's just going to be hard to pass because it's just such a hot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the conversation is, and in fact, both Rick Jackson and Keisha Lance Bottoms have been talking about data centers lately. And there's a mix, right? So like Keisha made a comment about data centers and people kind of fussed at her about it. But when you actually, why don't we play the clip? And I'm curious to hear your take on how you react to this. Because there's a question.
One? I know we got two. Which one?
So the first one on Keisha Lance Bottoms, where she's talking about data centers. And this was a question that she got from a reporter at WABE.
A Governor Bottoms, what would be the future of tax breaks for data centers, and what regulations would you propose for new data centers?
I just want us to pause. I want us to gather all the information, factual information, and then make a determination on how we move forward. I can tell you when I'm moving around the state, a lot of people are concerned about the environmental impact. They're also concerned about the rising cost of utility bills. But I also talk with some leaders, especially in our rural communities, who are saying that having data centers there helps them balance their budget. So I am respectful of everyone's thoughts on it, but at the end of the day, we got to separate fact from fiction. And we don't have enough facts on data centers to make an informed decision on how we move forward. We need a pause.
Okay. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So, I agree with it. Like this goes back to what I said in the beginning. Like, I don't know. I'm very ignorant on this topic, and us having this conversation has caused me to kind of dive in and do
some reading,
research as possible. But yes, I seen the headlines of this data center dried up all the water in this town. Mm-hmm. But also, I found out we have a huge data center in the actual downtown Atlanta on Marietta Street.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, so pausing is saying, hey, I'm not necessarily saying they're not going to be here at all. It's just saying, let's figure out what this is.
Right.
Let's get all the information. I can agree with that.
Yeah. So it feels like, from a partisan standpoint, that broadly speaking, I think more Democrats are opposed to moratorium, like pausing. Right. We saw some conversation around pausing in the city of Atlanta. With a couple of exceptions.
They're opposed to pausing?
No. Like, they are for pausing.
Yeah.
a couple of exceptions that are not that are were on the Republican side. So the Republican governor of Texas, who by no means is considered liberal or liberal leaning, has said that he wants a pause on data centers to understand how they're impacting the Texas grid. Because the Texas grid, if you all have followed anything that's happened in Texas, is especially precarious, right? And so we know that data centers are pulling more on the grid. And so his point is we need to understand what we have the capacity for, what we're building towards before we add even more to the grid.
Yeah.
And that to me sounded kind of similar to what Keisha Lance Bottoms is saying here.
And you saying she got backlash for that?
She got backlash because I think she said something to the effect of, and it's rare for a politician to say this, I don't have all the, essentially she was saying, I don't have all the answers on this yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't have enough information.
Yeah, that's why I like the answer. Because I think
But that is often, unfortunately, counter, right? Or oftentimes we expect our elected officials or our politicians, the candidates to have everything, like know everything right now. And so I saw pushback on social media, particularly because of that. But to your point, I think her answer was, she essentially thread the needle without upsetting either party on a topic that is incredibly contentious.
And again, I didn't look at it like she was threading the needle, although that could be a thread the needle strategy. I didn't look at it like that. I don't think most people know.
Yeah.
If you ask the average person that's super anti, why? Like,
Yeah.
and then ask them to literally break down why and show you facts, show you sources, they're not going to have it. It's a very passionate subject. And again, nationally, it has become so polarizing. And that's what you want. As an organizer activist, that's what you want to do it. That's why we called the safety training facility Cop City. You know what I'm saying? You
got to brand it.
You polarize it in a way, and then it becomes like a trigger word. Right. And that's what data center is for some people on what depending on the side you on. If you hear it, it's like it trigger, I gotta attack. But I don't think nobody has all of the answers because I don't think it's a blanket situation in all of these cities.
Right.
So
Rick Jackson was asked about his take on it, and he particularly focused on rural Georgia, and he had some thoughts about how that maybe putting data centers in rural Georgia could be good for them if we can pull up that clip.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, you're not going to like my answer, but here it is. I said a data center, especially AI data centers, they don't have to be near Atlanta. They don't need 24/7. They can be in the most remote parts of Georgia, out of the way and so forth. They can eliminate, if it's structured properly, property taxes in at least 70 counties that we got in this state. I want people to have a voice on that. But what we can't do is have data centers where they don't get a benefit. So I'm for giving them the option to have a data center and let them decide. No property taxes with a data center or don't have one. It's totally up to them. As a business person, I just want to give them that option so that they know both sides of the street. And we've got to educate people on the data centers. I think there's a lot of misinformation about that.
Yeah. He sounded
like David Holder?
Yeah.
What would you rather have here, a park or a data center? A data center.
But nah, he said they don't have to be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He said put them in a remote,
right.
So
I wonder how that's going to play in rural Georgia.
Right.
I don't know how smart that is. And
they're like,
again,
don't take that to us.
Right. And if I were Keisha's campaign, and again, this is where I don't see that like rapid response from them.
Yeah.
Unless they're doing it and maybe they're doing it and I just don't see it. But I would have immediately pounced on that and said, Rick Jackson wants to put data centers in your rural town and dry up all your water and your resources.
Easy story. His articles are already supported.
What do you do? Right.
But that's just again, when you have teams that good, you either have people that passionate just rocking with you, or you got the money and resources. Like I don't know what her media team has looked like. I haven't seen a lot of media
Yeah.
content.
I haven't seen a lot of rapid response.
Yeah, and I seen that they were actually hiring. They put out a whole thing
have, yeah.
where they were trying to hire. So that lets me know they don't have
They're
that
not where they wanna be
infrastructure.
yet.
They don't have the infrastructure ready to do that though. But that's a solid
Right.
strategy from a comms expert, you know.
Just saying. Just saying. But you have to do that, right? Like, if you know that you're not going to be able to beat him on air, on TV, you have to find as much earned media opportunities as
If
possible.
possible. Yeah.
And that is absolutely one that I would have done. As soon as he said that, I would have put something out. So that's kind of where things stand on this data center front. I'm curious to see, will this actually be a campaign issue in November? I guess someone not voting for Keisha or not voting for Rick because of where they stand on data centers. I don't know.
It's some people that passionate. It's so
Yeah.
funny. It's a quote. It's a clip from our podcast with Dr. Holder that I didn't put out. I'm gonna put it out. But when I seen how hard they were going in on him,
Oh no.
I said, I don't know if I want to put this out because I had asked him. I said, "Can you be anti-data center and be as pro AI as I am?"
Oh,
Like, I was like, hold on, let me wait before I put it. Because folks don't be wanting to admit it. Like, I have concerns about AI, but I have to be honest. I use it too much to say I'm not pro AI. I have definite, real definitive concerns of what it is and what it can do. And I'm actually seeing people experience loss because of it.
This is like very lighthearted, but I don't know if you saw this story where a guy had his AI agent handle, I guess he was trying to join a gym and there was a wait for the gym and the AI agent, he was like fourth in place. The AI agent somehow hacked into their system and kicked the person who was third off and put him in instead and completely removed that person from the wait list, which means, and the person didn't get a notification.
Wow.
So they would have to sign back up and then I guess realize like, oh, I was third on this wait list and
I didn't even get in.
I didn't even, yeah. I mean, that's like but imagine that for anything from hotels, right? Where my agent is like, oh, I always make sure I kick off the person who got the upgrade and give the upgrade to Saba instead.
Look, more competitive schools.
Oh yeah.
I
I mean, like, yeah, just imagine, or even like real life and death transplants, right? Like organ transplants.
And that list is serious.
Right.
That list is serious.
But my point is, we are seeing in real time so many situations. Some are lighthearted and some are uber serious. I mean, the hack that OpenAI talked about, the happy faces or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Hack, and the agents amongst themselves did something, and then the humans found out, and then the agents figured out another backdoor way to do the thing anyway.
Nah, I'm just saying, it's one of those situations. Like, all right, I'm gonna wear tinfoil kufi next week because I was about to go down that rabbit hole that I go down once a day about I have been doing all this time preparing for the zombie apocalypse, and I've done nothing for the AI apocalypse.
Oh yeah, that's the real apocalypse.
Bro, I'm not prepared.
Yeah.
Like you know how much jammers cost? Like I've been researching it. Like I got like a go bag for my zombie apocalypse.
Black Mirror.
Bruh.
Do you remember that episode where they
The dog?
Well, no, I was thinking of the house where it's like, because everyone's house is going to become AI-ified, if that's a word, right? But it literally like the lights, like, oh, like why won't the lights turn on? Why can't I get in this door? Or insert issue.
That's what I'm saying. Like people that surrender to it all the way like that, they concern me.
Right.
Whatever, man. You ride Waymo.
I do like Waymo, but I also
That's gonna be the first one. You seen that
probably
movie?
will. I did.
You seen that movie?
Oh, I was thinking of the Amazon one where the guy was in a driverless car, and then they remotely like killed the brakes in the driverless car. And because someone was trying to assassinate him without making it look like an
Right, an
assassination.
assassination.
And so they killed the brakes of the driverless car, and he obviously died. And,
Bro, that's why I can't get it.
yeah.
Then that's that movie that Obama them produced. I can't even remember. It was like the end of the world, and all them. It was that scene where all the Teslas were
I
just.
didn't know.
They were literally all coming to one location,
Oh,
like
that's
all of
creepy.
them, just zoom, zoom, zoom. Like, and then the person was like driving, and then they seen like, yo, this car is coming really fast, and they had to get out the way.
Oh no.
And it was like 30 Teslas all programmed to just hit one
Oh
spot.
God, that's creepy.
See, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, when you think about that, like when I can just imagine the Waymos just blocking the street
Sure.
both ways.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, all right, I'm done. Y'all, I'm sorry, we don't went all the way.
I know. Like we were just
Squirrel.
talking about
Squirrel.
data centers.
Data centers. This is what happens, y'all. So, I ain't got nothing else. Party started, party
You
pooper.
got freaked out.
I know. Party started, party pooper. Who you got?
Oh, I don't know if I'm sure I have something. I'm just blanking on what it could be in this exact moment.
I give you my starter.
Okay.
My party starter is the city of Decatur. Shout out to them for a couple of reasons. One, city of Decatur and Beacon Hill Black Alliance organization. That is an organization that is pushing the work that the city is supporting. Over the past few years, they have removed the Confederate statues out of the city of Decatur.
Yeah,
They
I
have
remember that.
replaced those statues with black monuments, futuristic monuments. They what the most recent thing that I'm really pushing, because they've done a lot of great things. They established a task force for
what?
reparations for the city of Decatur. Beacon Hill, if you don't know, it is one of the original black communities within the city of Decatur that was essentially eradicated. It was the whole community
Yeah,
was,
'cause I don't think of black when I think of city of Decatur.
and most people don't, because city of Decatur, when we talk about Decatur, we always say on which side of the track, because on this side of the track, city of Decatur, it's predominantly white.
Right.
Or the other side, when you start getting to Candler Road, that's
Right.
the black side.
Right.
But the city of Decatur used to be black. Beacon Hill was a all black, predominantly black community, and it's no longer there.
Right.
Hence why the task force for reparations was even started. And shout out to them. Beacon Hill gave us an opportunity, us meaning Just Elders Media, to do a documentary on the work that they're doing. And that documentary premieres this Saturday.
Oh, nice.
So
Where?
what is that Saturday? What is the 14th? I think that's Friday. What's
I
Saturday?
don't know. It's this
I think
coming
that's
week, though. For
I
sure.
think that's a Friday. But it is going to be
That is a Friday.
Friday the 14th, 6:00 at the Decatur Recreation Center downtown. They will be showing the documentary. I would love for y'all to come to see it, check it out. It will be published online. Shout out to just my whole team that made this thing possible. Ike was one of the shooters. Corey, one of the shooters. Jefferson shot, and he edited. Shout out to them. It's a dope documentary. It's incomplete, meaning it's a cliffhanger. Like the fight still continues, but it's just kind of showing how they got up to the point of getting a task force for reparations.
Yeah.
So I believe, based off of the research I had to do when shooting this documentary, that their work is going to be a blueprint for municipals across the country who want to study reparations and give reparations. So that's my party starter. Shout out to them. Go check out the documentary. Shout out to Beacon Hill. Fonta, you're amazing. Attorney Marley Davis, thank you. You brought me in the movement. And to see you doing this work is super dope.
You just got a big award at GABWA,
Yeah,
Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Marley, probably one of the most solid dudes in this city. Like, his love for black people, black liberation. Like, when I say he brought me in the movement, like he is the reason I am
Like, come here, young man.
literally that. Like I knew nothing about. I grew up predominantly white neighborhood, Monroe, Georgia. Everything about my consciousness and knowledge of like where my politics lie. You know what I'm saying? Came from his introduction. Like, so I got a huge respect for that brother. And like, he definitely changed the game for me.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
All right, party pooper.
Who you got?
I mean, there was one that I was thinking of nationally. I'll just say it. Like, it's not the best one, but they definitely deserve to be party poopers. And it's everyone who voted for Todd Blanche, who is the new Attorney General of the United States.
Oh my goodness.
Why am I making them a party pooper? Todd Blanche was President Donald Trump's personal attorney.
Yeah.
Personal criminal defense lawyer. The Attorney General of the United States is supposed to be impartial.
Yeah. Impartial and unapproached.
Tell me how that's supposed to work when I have been your personal attorney and gotten you out of who knows what, and I'm now the Attorney General of the United States. And then as part of the negotiations, right, Republicans and voting for him, they said we don't want the Justice Department to be a department of retribution. The Justice Department has already been a party of retribution.
Literally.
So in what world do you think that anything would change?
Yeah. So, you know, this speaks to what we said we were going to do offline, about really just having a conversation with voters and getting in the mind of why they vote the way they vote.
Oh, we didn't play that.
Yeah, that's what I
midterms
said.
thing.
That's why I just teed it up for
Yeah.
next week. We definitely gonna get into what makes people make those level of
Right.
decisions.
And I think that's the distinction, right? Like, maybe that's not a voter. Maybe a voter doesn't ultimately care about that, right? Because I think, and I'd be curious to hear directly from someone who the Attorney General of the United States is. I don't think about that person. I can imagine a voter saying this. I don't think about that person. So it doesn't really matter to me if they were the president's personal lawyer or not.
Yeah, and that's why that's where the education comes. That's where, like, understanding real life examples, how this position affects you, and that's where we lack in a lot of this. Most people
Right.
just don't know.
Right.
And if I don't, ignorance is bliss.
Literally. I said this to someone the other day. I was
That's
like,
probably one
man,
of the realest,
Yes.
true statements.
I did not appreciate that statement
When
until
I
I
was
got
young.
older. I swear I didn't get it.
Like-
now I'm like, oh.
Because when you
just-
don't
you're
know,
just walking around
when
here
you don't,
just like, oh, life is just rainbows and butterflies.
and you know where I really get to hear that, shout out to everyone that works behind the scenes on our podcast. But a
Yeah.
lot of times they're not political nerds.
Right. Like we are.
Yeah, sharing articles back and forth.
Right.
So sometimes we be talking about stuff, and then I always love after the podcast, they be like, yo, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Or like during election, like, yo, I'm glad I got to hear this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's just speaks to why we're doing what we're doing.
Exactly.
Because I just want everybody to know, like, you ain't got to do politics, but politics doing you.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Oh, did you go to InvestFest?
no, I didn't. But I didn't. I'll talk about it offline. I didn't. I'm done.
I couldn't resist. All right, y'all. That is today's episode. As always, we appreciate you tuning in to Where to Party At, your favorite political podcast. I'm your host, Saba Long.
And I am Eldridge Washington, and this is Where the Party's At. See y'all next week.